Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching. Today I'm testing out some new makeup products. I'm using a couple of staples as well. Some of the products today worked so well. Some of them were a little bit harder to use, which we'll get into in a few seconds, but I hope you guys enjoy it. I do want to say thank you to E.L.F Cosmetics for sponsoring at the beginning of today's video. I'm going to be using some products from the Holy Hydration line, which I absolutely love. I've loved for such a long time, but they recently added a few new additions to the line that I just think are so good. So I'll be showing you guys those in just a second. E.L.F Skin is cruelty-free, vegan. It's a clean skincare line that is dermatologist developed, and you get really high quality premium products at really affordable prices. E.L.F Skin has amazing ingredients that work so well. The Holy Hydration line is made with hyaluronic acid, so it's really going to give your skin that like plumped up, beautiful, healthy, natural glow. It's going to lock in the hydration all day long. So let me share a couple of my favorites with you. To kick things off, before I sat down to film the video, I did use the Holy Hydration Daily Cleanser. This is a really nice lightweight gel-based cleanser. It does kind of create a foamy lather, which is so nice to apply to the skin, and it just helps to remove any excess oil, makeup, dirt. It doesn't feel heavy on the skin at all, but it does leave your skin feeling really smooth and soft afterwards. You can use this in the morning or at night. Now at night before I go in with this cleanser, I always go in with the Holy Hydration Makeup Melting Cleansing Balm. This works so well to melt away all of your makeup, even long wearing foundation, waterproof mascara. This has replaced all of my high-end cleansing balms. It works so well. It's super gentle, but it leaves your skin feeling so hydrated and so smooth. It really is my #1 cleansing balm. I recommend this all the time. The next product I'm going to use is the Holy Hydration Eye Cream. Again, I just featured this in a recent empties video because I did use mine up completely. This is one of my favorite eye creams because it's very, very lightweight. So I especially love to use this during the day before I go in with makeup because it sinks into the skin really quickly. So I usually just tap this under my eyes, and then I'll even take it up onto my eyelid, my brow bone. I do tend to get a little bit dry around this area, so this product is so perfect at just providing a light moisturized feel. Now I've been using those 3 products for a long time, ever since they released them, but there are a few new additions to the line that I've been loving. This is the Holy Hydration Sleeping Mask. It's such a great option because you can use it one of 2 ways. So you can apply this at night before you go to bed, and then in the morning when you wake up, your skin looks so smooth and hydrated. You're ready to go. I actually did that last night. Or you can apply it as a rinse-off treatment, so like 2 to 3 times a week. You can apply this, leave it on for 10 to 15 minutes, and then rinse it off. And again, it's just going to give your skin like that extra dose of hydration if that's what you're looking for. I've actually been using the Holy Hydration Face Cream, the original one, for years. I talk about it all the time on my channel. It is one of my favorite products. So they came out with an unscented version, and then they recently came out with this one. This one has broad spectrum SPF 30 sunscreen in it. I love the formula and the texture of this moisturizer. It is the perfect option if you need a really hydrating face cream. I know a lot of people love this formula, so if you're looking for one with SPF in it, this will be such a great option. The one that I'm going to use today is the new Holy Hydration Hydrogel Moisturizer. This has quickly become my favorite daily moisturizer because I love gel type moisturizers, but this one is nice because it's kind of like a gel cream hybrid. So it's super lightweight, it sinks in so nicely, but it also has like an added layer of creaminess to it. So your skin feels really moisturized. I also love using this one in the morning before I apply makeup because my makeup just goes on so nicely. I'm going to link all of these products in the description box below so you guys can check them out. The Holy Hydration line has been one of my favorites for years, and I think you guys will love it as much as I do. So I'll put a link in the description box below so you guys can check it out. So I think I'm going to do the eyes first today because I'm going to be working with some darker colors that might make a little bit of a mess. But before I do that, I'm just going to apply the Bare Minerals Mineralist Lip Gloss Balm, and this one is in the shade Clarity. I just feel like my lips are kind of dry, so I just want to put something on them. And this is just like a sheer color. This smells really good. It has a sweet scent to it, and it definitely feels like a lip gloss lip balm hybrid. It feels really good on the lips. So like I said, I'm going to do the eyes first. So I just got this in the mail. It's the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Eye Primer. I was actually planning on picking this up, and then they did send me a PR package with this included. So this has a wand type applicator. It doesn't feel super heavy or sticky as you pull it out. Like I thought it might have a little bit more tackiness to it, But I read online when this first came out, I talked about it in a purchase or pass video, it's also supposed to kind of blur your eye area. So you can use it under your eyes in the inner corner. This definitely has a different texture to it than the original Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. That one almost has like a slight tackiness to it. This one doesn't feel tacky at all. It feels really, really smooth on the eyes. So I'm going to use a palette that I'm familiar with, so I'll be able to let you guys know if this causes any creasing or the eyeshadow doesn't blend as well. So today I'm using ColourPop's It's a Mood, but I'm also using the Urban Decay Naked Cyber. I'll probably just use 1 or 2 shades from this. I did do an entire review on this palette. If you guys want to check it out, I'll link it in the description box below, but that was my complete first impressions on it. So I wanted to use it alongside of more of a dramatic palette because a lot of the shades in here are topper shadows, and I feel like they'll look really good on top of really dark dramatic shadows. I've been promising you guys a more colorful, cooler toned look as well, so that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm just going to set the eyeshadow primer into place. This is what I always do. We just got back from the beach with my family, so I do have a million more freckles than I did when I left. I wore a hat, I wore sunscreen. It's just inevitable. I get a million freckles every single time I leave the house. My dad is Filipino, so he tans so nicely when he goes out in the sun, but my mom is a redhead and she has a million freckles, so that is where I get it from. I have to say, that matte shadow did go on so nicely. Like, ColourPop's matte shadows are very smooth, but that just looks good on the eyes. So far so good with the Milk Makeup Eye Primer. I do feel like it did create a very smooth base for the rest of my shadow. My camera cut out for a second, but I'm just going in with this lighter neutral shadow as a transition. It's blending really nicely. Now there is a slight tackiness. Sometimes when I apply eyeshadow primer and then set it with a matte shadow, it will take away any tackiness if I'm using an eye base underneath. There's a little bit of a tackiness. Next, I'm going to go in with the shade Midnight Run, which is also a brown. I'm just going to blend this into the crease before I go in with some of the green shadows, just to add a little bit of warmth to the eyes. I'm going to go in with this green shadow. This one is called Oblivion, and just blend it into the crease. Now, I do feel like I am noticing a little bit of patchiness now. The initial shadows were blending really nicely, but you can kind of see right here, it's not due to the palette because I have used this palette quite a few times, like at least 10 times at this point, probably more, and I have created a couple of green looks. Like, you can definitely see the patchiness. Oh wow, look at that. I'll see if I can get it to come together. Now typically when I do apply an eye base, I do like more of a smooth base because I do have some texture on my eyes, and I know a lot of people do prefer a little bit more of a tacky base. So I'm really curious to hear what you guys think about this if you've tried it. I haven't watched any reviews on this eyeshadow primer yet. I feel like I'm getting there. It does look a little bit patchy in the crease, but I think I might go in with a deeper shadow in just a second. Let me just do the same thing on the other eye and I'll be right back. I'm not going to clean it up yet because this is one of those looks that's going to get a little bit uglier before it gets better. I'm just going to go in with this deeper green, and I'm just going to focus that on the outer corner. Look how bad that looks right there. Like, I can't get it to blend out no matter what I do. Now, I will say, if you guys have watched my videos before, I always say that I have trouble blending this area anyway because I just have like a little bit of texture right in this area, but it's never quite this bad. Definitely think the eyeshadow primer is causing that patchiness. So, you know what? Let me do the other eye. I'll be right back. Maybe if I use like a packing motion. It's definitely the eyeshadow primer. Okay, the packing motion is helping a little bit. I don't want to have to take it off and start over. Just want to see if I can get it to work. I'm just going to take the shade Wanna Go and place it all over the lid. It's a really pretty green. This is going to give the eye just more of a smooth look overall, kind of make up for some of that patchiness. For some reason, more of a patting motion just seems to create more of a blended effect with this eyeshadow primer. Again, I am going to go in and clean this up when I'm done. It looks a little bit intense, but it will come together. I just feel like this is the best way to go when I'm doing more of a smoky look and then just worrying about cleaning it up afterwards. I'm going to go in with the shade Cyberspace. It has a little bit of like a golden red green shift to it. I think it will actually pair really nicely with this look, at least I hope so, because I like how it looks so far. So I'm just going to take my finger and I'm going to pack it onto the center of the lid. Now I have swatched this shadow. Wow, it looks really good layered on top of this. It's interesting because it's more green than I thought it was going to be. I think when you swatch it, it has more of like a peachy golden base. But wow, that really intensifies the look. It does kind of transform it. Let me take a little bit more. I'm just going to pull it into the inner corner as well. That's interesting. It's not what I thought it was going to look like, layered on top of a deeper shadow. It's completely different. I think I like this one better than this one, but I will say the Urban Decay shadow is a lot more vibrant on top of a deeper base. It looks completely different than when you just swatch it on your hand. So this is the eye look with the Urban Decay shadow on top. Again, it looks a lot different than I thought it was going to, but I do think the Urban Decay shadow is a lot better on top of these jewel tones. And that's what I thought was going to happen when I was initially using it. So I am curious to use it on top of some of the blues and purples in here as well. So let me clean up this eye look, apply some eyeliner, and I'll be right back. I will finish up the eyes in just a second, but for the face, I'm going to go in with the E.L.F. Jelly Pop Dew Primer. This has been my favorite face primer because it just locks your makeup into place so well. I'm going to be using the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. This is a concealer. I have the shade 11 Light Nude. And I'm just going to use this to spot conceal a little bit. A little bit of this product goes a super long way. So I typically just apply it where I tend to get red, or if I had a breakout like a few weeks ago, my chin was breaking out, so I have a little bit of scarring. I'll apply it there, and I just feel like it's nice to use underneath foundation because it doesn't look as obvious, and then I don't have to go in with as much foundation. I'm just using my IT Cosmetics dual-ended brush to blend it in. Now, a lot of people like to use this under the eyes. Like, look how well this spreads. You really don't need a lot of this, but I'm going to be using a different concealer under the eyes that I've been loving lately. I've talked about this a few times, but the reason why I don't like super light coverage foundations is because I do have a lot of redness on my skin. So it's not that I'm trying to cover up like all of the freckles, but because I'm trying to cover up redness and I'm looking for products that stay in place well on my oily skin, inevitably pretty much all of my freckles get covered up with those foundations too. But because this concealer blends out so well, it looks really skin-like, and I mean, you can see like this side compared to this side, pretty much all of the redness is gone. I do feel like maybe a really light foundation on top of this would look good. And that might solve my issue because a lot of lightweight foundations, tinted moisturizers, they just don't last on my oily skin. Anyway, today we're not going to try that. I'm just going in with a reliable foundation. This is the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation, and I have the shade Light Beige. I just want to use a foundation that I know works well, one that I love. The Sephora VIB sale is coming up soon, so I do want to try some new foundations because it's been a little while. So if you guys have any recommendations for me, please let me know. I've been slowly adding products to my Sephora loves list in anticipation for the sale, but I would love to pick up a new foundation. I typically do pick up one during the sale. So I literally just use like half a pump of this foundation, and as you can see, I mean, it does have good coverage, but when I just layer like a little bit of that IT Cosmetics concealer underneath, you just need less foundation because it covers any problem areas. And for me, that's just where I deal with like a lot of redness or acne scarring, and then you don't have to use as much foundation, which is nice. Okay, so for concealer, I'm going to be using the ABH Magic Touch Concealer. I've only tested this out just a few times, and I feel like it works well. I do notice that it tends to crease. So since I applied a little bit of that Milk Makeup primer under my eyes, we'll see if that helps. It's kind of inevitable. All concealers crease, especially if you deal with under eye wrinkles like I do. But I do feel like the ABH one creases a little bit more quickly than others. So if I set it into place with like a good under eye setting powder, it's usually fine. The thing that I like about this concealer though is that it looks so smooth under the eyes. And because I always am dealing with some sort of texture on my skin, I do really enjoy this concealer for that reason, because it just makes everything look so smooth. So it's almost like I can deal with a little bit of creasing because it kind of gives my skin like a blurred effect. I always just blend a little bit down on my chin just to balance out the color. I'm just going to set it with the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop powder. This is just the one I have on hand right now. We just got back from the beach, like I said, so like half of my makeup bag is unpacked, half of it isn't. But I wanted to sit down and film this video. So I've actually been loving this brush for this purpose. It's the Real Techniques 048 brush. It is a collaboration with Victoria Lynn. It's part of a set, but this just fits really nicely under the eyes. So I'm not setting my whole face yet because I'm actually going to be using a cream contour product. Actually, it's a liquid contour, which is not something I really ever use, but I thought it'd be fun to test today. So I'm just setting everywhere where I place the concealer. I'm a little bit nervous to try this out just because I've never tried anything like this. I just wanted to pull up the product information online. This is the KVD Beauty ModCon Liquid Gel Contour. So I actually got this in the mail as PR in a box of things from Ulta Beauty, and it just kind of caught my eye. I thought it would be interesting. So this is supposed to be a long-wearing contour. Now the thing that really piqued my interest is that it says 100% of users agree this contour doesn't require a lot of skills to apply. You're supposed to be able to easily blend it out, build it up, and it won't move your foundation, get streaky, oily, or patchy. So I have the shade Light Warm 80. So let's just try it out. It comes in interesting packaging. It has a doe foot applicator. I'm just going to blend it right here. Now it says that it's a contour, but I do have a warmer shade, so I'm just going to kind of apply it where I would apply bronzer and blend it out and see how it goes. My issue with super liquidy cheek products is sometimes they just completely remove your foundation. This one is definitely doing that. You can see right here that like all of this area that was covered up with foundation is kind of peeking through again. For me, one of my issues when it comes to cream products is that they can be a little bit intimidating. Sometimes they are hard to blend. So the fact that this one was marketed as like a super easy to use product is what appealed to me. Oh, it's definitely removing my foundation right here though. You can see right here, I have freckles, a little bit of scarring, like it just completely took the foundation away. So that sucks. Let me try a different method for the forehead. I just put a little bit on the back of my hand and I'm just going to apply it to the brush and we'll see if that helps because that might be more ideal. It is a very soft, subtle product. So it's not going to give you like a super intense bronzed or contoured look, but you probably could build it up. So now again, it's just removing all of my foundation. You can see right here. I'm just going to take my foundation brush and go back over it. So I agree, it is easy to use. It definitely blends out well. It doesn't look streaky at all. But if you're someone who doesn't like products that like lift and remove your foundation, this is not going to be one of them. They're so liquidy, how would they not remove your foundation underneath? Because it almost feels like you're applying water to the skin. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be a product for me. I would say if you use like super lightweight base products and that's not an issue or a concern for you where your foundation kind of lifts underneath, then you might enjoy that. But again, it's 2021. Every brand is releasing cream contours, cream blushes, cream bronzers, even liquid products that are going to work a little bit better. So for me, and just what I look for, that unfortunately is not going to do it. It does look nice, like on the forehead, it's very, very subtle. So, I mean, I like how it looks. I don't like the fact that it removes your foundation underneath. I'll have to try it with just a couple of other foundations because maybe I won't have the same issue, but initially I just don't think I'll end up reaching for it. I'll come back to apply a different bronzer in just a few minutes, but I'm going to go in with the Persona Cosmetics Swipe Up Brow Gel. This is so good. I tested it out in a video not too long ago for the first time. It just looks amazing on the brows. So I have the shade Brown. I've been using this for, I want to say a couple of weeks at this point, and I just love it. It makes such a difference. You just kind of, apply it to the brows, and what I like to do is just kind of comb them upwards. And they stay in place really well. It deposits a really good amount of pigment, so it does kind of fill them in for you. And it just gives them that feathery effect. I mean, look at the difference between the two. I do go in afterwards and just kind of define them a little bit more with a brow pencil, but if you do like more of that like messy, undone look, you could really just leave them, and I think they look good too. Let me take a second to finish the eyes, so I'm just going to go in with the shade Oblivion, which is a green, and just blend this on my lower lash line, just to lightly tie things together. I'm just going to take the shade Mystified and run that a little bit closer to the lash line, just a little bit to darken things up, but not too much. I was going to use the NYX eyeliner in Golden Olive, but I feel like after I applied that Urban Decay liner, it kind of transformed it to more of like a blue-green rather than well, this might work still, an olive green. Or I have this one, it's the ColourPop Tinkerbell eyeliner in the shade Fly With Me. This one's like a little bit more of a blue foresty green. Yeah, let's go with this one. I'm just applying this to my waterline, but then also on my lower lash line too. I'm going to smudge it out a little bit. I'm just going to finish the brows with the Urban Decay Brow Blade, and I'll be right back. I'm just going to take a little bit of the shade AI from the Urban Decay palette, and I'm just going to blend that on my brow bone, just to brighten things up a little bit. This has like a little bit of a satin sheen to it, but it's not too intense. Last thing before I go in with mascara, I'm just going to take a little bit of the shade Metadata from the Urban Decay palette. This one's like a really pretty light shimmery shade, and I'm just going to put this in the inner corner. For mascara, I'm testing out a new one. This is the IT Cosmetics Hello Lashes. The IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara is one of my all-time favorites. I've repurchased it so many times. So I'm curious to try this one. This one is supposed to give your lashes a lot of volume. It's also infused with a serum that's just supposed to help condition your lashes. I feel like this one is separating my lashes. It will take a little bit of building. I always like to layer quite a few coats on to see for sure, but it also has like that spiky ball on the end, which you can go in with afterwards to kind of give them that extra boost. Here's how the first layer looks. It's nothing too intense or too dramatic, so let me do a second layer. Here is the second layer. It is building. It's not getting overly dramatic. I think that this formula does do a good job at separating your lashes and adding a little volume, a little length. Here's what 3 coats looks like. I'm not super impressed by this mascara. I think it looks good. It's more of like a nice everyday mascara that's not over the top or clumpy, but I don't like it for the bottom lashes. I just feel like it was hard to kind of grab onto the individual lashes, and it almost clumped them together, and I don't have a ton of lashes to begin with, so I feel like this mascara didn't really enhance them. So for me, I don't think I'm going to like this as much as the Superhero Mascara, but I do feel like things can kind of change as mascaras dry out, but I will try it out a few more times and keep you posted. I'm not really blown away by the results, to be honest with you. I don't think I'm going to apply any more bronzer. I kind of like the subtle bronzed effect that I got with the Kat KVD Vegan Beauty Bronzer. I didn't like the fact that it lifted my foundation, but I don't know, looking at it now, I feel like it looks good. It's very subtle, which is kind of nice because that's kind of what I look for in bronzers. I have a tendency to go overboard all the time, so I like the fact that it just gives like a light bronziness to the skin. I am going to go in with this blush from Essence. It's just the blush in the shade Bespoke. I'm just going to apply a really small amount. It's a little bit of a warmer blush. I don't want like a super warm blush on today. So for highlighter, I don't think this is going to be subtle. This is the Flower Beauty Stellar Prismatic Highlight. This is really pretty. I just got this in the mail from Flower Beauty. It is a newer product. Look at this. It has like gold flecks in it. I honestly have no idea how this is going to apply to the cheeks. It might look a little bit chunky because I read on the packaging you can actually use this as an eyeshadow topper too. But since we're trying out new makeup today, I thought I would just try it. Oh wow, okay, so you can definitely see, it's kind of getting in my hair, you can definitely see like the gold flecks on the skin. They're kind of flying off as I blend into the skin, but it looks pretty. I was a little bit nervous that it was going to look super chunky on the skin. I don't even know how to explain this one. I think it looks really pretty. I kind of want to take just a little bit of this and apply it right to the center. I think it looks really pretty on the eyes. This is kind of giving me like Tinkerbell vibes. I did a look with the ColourPop Tinkerbell palette that looked a little bit similar. So it's pretty. It definitely has like a little bit of flakiness to it. As I applied it to the eyes and the face, like there's definitely actual glitter on my face, but I do think it's kind of fun. It's something different, so I like that. For the lips, I'm going to be using the About Face lip liner. This one's in the shade After Party. I love these lip liners. They are so creamy, so smooth. They just glide on the lips so well, but they do dry down, so they grip your lipstick into place. It's not going anywhere when you're wearing one of these. Now for lipstick, I'm going to be testing these out. These are the About Face Matte Painted Lip Colors. These are so pretty. I loved these colors. I thought I could combine them. I hope it will create like the perfect cooler toned nude. So first I'm going to go in with the shade Fantasist. I love the packaging of these, so let's see how it applies. Goes on really nicely. Okay, it dries down fast, so I'm just going to go in with a little bit of the shade Dilemma on top before it completely dries, just to lighten that up a little bit. I feel like maybe that's a little bit too much of like a brown nude. I don't know, it needs like a touch of a cooler toned color. I can never choose the right lip color on the first try. Let's go in with a little bit of this. This is the Light Lock Lip Gloss in the shade Double Clutch. This is also from About Face. This has like a little bit of pinkiness to it. I can't decide. I feel like maybe it's a little bit too brown for this eye look, but I don't know what else I would use. Okay, so as for the actual formula, I mean, I ended up applying a lip gloss on top. I always want to wear matte lips these days, but sometimes I just want a little bit of a glossy finish. So these went on nicely. They definitely have like a good amount of pigment to them. They felt a little bit dry initially. I'll have to try them out fully on their own, but these days I always end up throwing lip gloss on top of everything, and I've been loving these Light Lock lip glosses from About Face. They're just very lightweight. They don't add like a lot of volume to the lips, in that some lip glosses are very thick, very heavy. These don't feel like that. They're very, very lightweight, and they're not overly shiny, but they do look glossy. So they're just like a nice everyday option, especially on top of lipstick. So this is the final look. Thank you guys for watching today's video. I had a lot of fun testing out these products. I need to put some of them to the test even longer, and then I'll come back and do an update, maybe like speed review style, and let you guys know which products I think are worth it, which ones aren't. I definitely had a lot of issues blending that eyeshadow on top of the eye primer, but I feel like it came together. It doesn't look super patchy in the end. Then I had issues with the liquid contour, but again, I like the final look. So we'll see. I'm going to mess around with the products a little bit more. I'll come back and do like a big roundup on all of the new products I've been testing out. I did a lot of testing new makeup videos in September, so I'll be sure to let you guys know which products I actually think are worth the money, which ones aren't, after I've tested them really thoroughly. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll link everything in the description box below, as well as a link to the full E.L.F. Cosmetics Holy Hydration line, so you guys can check it out. That is a line that I love, that I can rely on, that I know works really well, so I think you guys will love it too. But I'll see you guys very soon with a new video. Bye.